Let's see. All right. All right, working class hustlers of America and all across the globe. It's your main man, Horace, also known as La Machine. And once again, we are out here for your benefit. This is the third time that we have come together to go live. And it is my sincere hope that the third time is going to be a charm. We apologize for last week. We lost our connection, but we're going to monitor that. I got my producer Jim in the back checking with us. And without further ado, here they are. We come together like Voltron and we call ourselves the Working Class Hustler Panel. So get ready. Give them all the glory because they have come together for your benefit. And with that in mind, for any visitors that we have, let us be clear. We have come together to give of our time for your benefit. So what we need you to do is to let us know that you're getting something out of this. You do that by hitting that like, that share, that subscribe, and most importantly, we want your questions, we want your comments, and we want your participation. Let's go around the panel real quick. Of course, you have myself, and each of us. What's great is we bring different aspects. Okay, for example, I still work a full-time job, and also I have a full-time business. So we're going to kind of go around the panel, and then we're going to do what we usually do. We kind of do a recap and see how business has been for each and every one of us. As I was saying, I'm a full-time truck driver by trade, but I also do my own business on the side, and Amazon happens to be my main business, but I also sell on Walmart. I have my own website as well as eBay. Let's move it over to Frank. Tell us a little bit about your situation as far as how you're doing it.
Well, I do a little bit of everything. I do Amazon, I do eBay, I do Macari, I do shoes, I've been doing a lot of information products, like educational products. I've been doing that. I do content. I think that's it.
Okay, multiple and you also work a full-time job.
Oh yeah, that too. And I do print.
That.
I do print too.
Okay. All right, hustlers, you got to make sure that you're tapping into this. So I'm going to charge my producer Jim and my sidekick, the lovely Miss Karen. I'm charging you guys. Make sure we don't miss any questions or comments. But let's move over to Nate. I mean, we don't have a show long enough to talk about everything that you do.
I do a lot.
We really don't. We really don't. But we want the hustlers to be encouraged. We don't want them running away from work. We want them to know what the rewards can be and what the possibilities are. This is a man that has no limitations. He's published very close, 100 books. And we can go on and on, but just try to let us know as briefly as you can. I know it's going to be difficult, but all the things that you're doing.
We do everything. If it's a multiple stream or another stream that we could add, we do it.
Okay.
And that Amazon, from Amazon to A to Z, pretty much, we do it.
Okay.
And who is the we?
my main partner in crime, she's away right now doing a book right now. So
all right.
it's my wife, Elizabeth.
But if anybody has questions about any of these things, I mean, you're talking about this guy here can marry you. I mean, he's a justice of the peace.
Yep. Minister.
A notary public. I mean, there's just nothing that this guy will back away from if it has the potential.
And voiceover artist, as you can
voiceover artist. He's the man with the golden voice. I mean, I gotta admit, he almost sounds as good as me.
I'll send you the check.
Another unique thing about Nate on the panel is it's really Nate and Elizabeth, and they're a husband-wife team. So, there are people out there who are fortunate enough to have a partner who is also interested, and they can work as a team. So, just to note, that's the husband and wife team.
That's right.
Another interesting tidbit. Nate comes from the trucking world like me. You no longer work any regular job though. No W2.
No driving anymore. Oh.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to Mr. Ambrose.
How you guys doing today?
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what platforms you sell on, what you got going on.
Well, I was a full-time Amazon seller. I kind of moved away from that a little bit. I do still sell full-time on Walmart, but I do sell digital products. And the digital products, I signed up with a company called Legacy Builder, and I sell digital products online on all the platforms, Facebook, TikTok, and moving over to YouTube 2025. And I wanted to get out of, move away from Amazon because I was, I thought the margins wasn't big enough for me, and there was too much work and too many restrictions that was going on. And I didn't want to be in a position where, I was working harder and not making as much money as I could. And with the fees and the shipping costs going up and the placement fees that they was adding on. So I got into the digital world, as I call it, and I sell digital products online on all the three major platforms: TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I also have a affiliate link that I do. I do affiliate sales for Amazon, so I'm an affiliate person. I'm an affiliate influencer as well. So that's what I do, because in that scenario, digital products, I make 100% of my commission and not split it with Amazon. So that's what I do full time. I stopped working 4 years ago and I started selling on Amazon, but it started not to be as profitable as I wanted to. And that's why I got into the digital products, because that business is at this point in time very hot and doing very well.
And that's cool. And on that note, hustlers, make sure if you're interested in any of the things that our panel is into, all of those links and ways to connect with them are down in the description. Also, that's a great segue to tell you guys, if you ever need any help from me, I've always, since I started this channel back in 2017, I've always offered my personal number, and people do use it. So don't feel like you're bothering me. I'll get to you just as soon as I can. If you have any questions about selling online, if there's anything I can do, it would be my absolute pleasure. Actually, it looks like we've got 3 visitors out here. If you guys would be so kind as to drop something in the chat just to let us know who you are and where you're from, that way we can shout you out. Don't forget, you guys, if you follow me, you realize I sell on Amazon specifically and particularly in the snack food arena. I have a free webinar that myself, the lovely Miss Karen, and my producer Jim put together. That's absolutely free. The link will be in the description. All right, hustlers, let's take a moment and kind of go around the horn as far as how sales have been across the various platforms that we're on. So for myself, eBay, nothing. Walmart, steady. Amazon, up. Oh, and you know what? We forgot my sidekick. Miss Karen, you got to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing. You about to let me forget.
Well, I would say the thing that would be unique about me on the panel is that I'm a reseller, period. That's what I do. I sell on Amazon. I sell on eBay. I just started selling on Walmart. But I'm a reseller, period. I'm firmly planted in that. And so I don't have any other hustles going. That's it for me. That's enough for me. As far as how it's gone this week, not really good. But I mean, my sales haven't been great this week. However, I look forward to, quite honestly, those times when it's a little bit slow. I don't have to run, sort of balls to the wall, so to speak, every moment, because when it's slow, it gives me a chance to pay attention to the things that I need to do as a business owner. You know, it's 2025. It's January. Tax time is coming up. So while it's been slow, I've been able to gather my documents and do things that I need to do for my bookkeeper and my accountant. Uh, I'm not always the best at repricing all the time. And making sure my repricer is up to date. So when I don't have high volume of sales, then I can spend some time with repricing and there's lots of other things that we have to do as business owners. So that's what I do in the downtime. And then when it gets hectic again, I welcome that and I you know, focus there. So it's been slow, but the slow is good because I'm tired after Q4 anyway, truthfully.
Why do you think it's been slow?
Why do I think it's been slow?
Yeah.
For me,
Hmm.
I think because number one, I haven't repriced since October, probably. And so, you have to make constant adjustments to the market. You can't have the notion that I'm going to sell my item for X number of dollars and that's it, because you might be waiting longer than you want to wait. Or it may be that, in some cases, you need to adjust upwards. But at any rate, you do need to make adjustments. And I find when I'm not making adjustments, I may be losing sales for, the difference of a penny. If I lowered my price by a penny, I'd be in the game. So that's part of why I think it's been slow, because January can be pretty profitable. So we're not done yet. I still have time to pick it up, and we'll see what happens now that I've done some repricing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's so important for the hustlers out there to note there's not one of us on this panel that is just on one platform. There's not one of us that has just a single source of income. And we all tend to, and the same thing is going to happen to you. For anyone who's watching that is considering getting that side hustle, that additional income stream, remember, as you live, as you learn, you're going to gravitate towards what you like. And you may keep multiple streams, but tend to focus more on the one that you like. So, we're not here to tell you that you should do one of our methods or the other. We would encourage you to try them all if you're so inclined, but do it realizing that eventually you're going to figure out what you like to do. And that goes for even if you decide to sell on Amazon, which all of us do, you're going to have to figure out what to sell. Well, you already know everything is selling. So then the question becomes, what do you want to sell? That will be revealed to you if you do it long enough. You know, you will eventually figure out if you like clothing, if you prefer video games, toys, I mean, whatever categories you can think. So just keep that in mind. Let's move over to Nate. How was sales this week across your various platforms?
Walmart was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Amazon,
know a lot of people have been moving over to Walmart.
Amazon was sales are up, and just as you said, you're going to learn things starting out. And hey, it's dead of winter everywhere, and I'm selling shorts on Amazon.
I,
Yeah,
I got
sold out.
I got regated in Starbucks.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they sent me an email saying that I got regated in Starbucks. Did you get that,
Mm,
Carrie?
What's that?
Anybody else get that? Yeah, I was selling Starbucks coffee and they got regated.
mhm.
Just
Well, wow. What'd you say, Nate?
Barbie. Gated and regated in Barbie.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy on these platforms. You got to constantly, you know, just you got to shift. You just got to deal with. We don't. You got to bear in mind, it's not your platform, so things are going to change no matter where you go. If you don't own it, you're going to have to go with what's going on. So, Ambrose, tell us how sales were for you across your different platforms this week. How things looking?
Well, excuse me. My Amazon sales are, like I said, I'm moving out of the Amazon. I put my Amazon account to sleep because it was just, uh, sales are going. Well, I wasn't pushing the sales on Amazon, but my Walmart sales are still steady. I'm still selling toys, even after Christmas, and for Walmart, still selling toys. Sell mostly toys, but I'm focusing more on my products and my digital products because I just got monetized on TikTok, which means is that the more uh, viewers you get, the more chances you have to make money. I'm also, as I said before, getting having a Amazon Influence account, so I'm going to be doing the Amazon Influence as well. And I think I'm going to have an advantage because a lot of people who sell, do the influences, they don't know what products to pick. Because I was an Amazon seller, I know how to, uh, you know, examine a product and see what's selling and how many are selling and which products to sell as an influencer or not. So that is something that I'm going to be pushing this week. Also, I'm going to be doing some more digital products and making some more. I'm going to be making a digital Amazon beginners course, and I'm going to be selling that as a digital product as well. Um, so it's just so much that I'm doing right now. It's just pushing the envelope. Um, I just bought a new iPhone, so because the iPhone works very well on the internet. So I went yesterday and bought a new iPhone. So uh, I'm posting content on these, and that's what they tell you to do, posting content, because there's so many different ways to get paid in the digital arena. You can get paid for your post, you can get paid for your videos, you can get paid for just pushing content. You can get paid for doing what we're doing right now, which is having lives. I mean, you can get paid for. Oh yeah, and I'm about 100 followers away from opening up my TikTok shop, where I'm going to be selling items online. So that's another avenue that I'm going to. But my digital product is what I'm really pushing because that's where I'm making my 100% commission. So that's what I'm really pushing, my digital products and my
So
digital store.
Ambrose, I have a question. Um,
Absolutely.
so one thing we know about you is that you're a finance guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're all about show me the money. Where is the money? Where is the profit? And so, for the purposes of our time together, I feel like it might be helpful for all of us if we considered this new digital venture that you're going into, if we treated it in some ways like it was a platform. I don't have the vernacular of the digital world correct. So forgive me about that. But bottom line is what I'm trying to get to is sort of how's it going in terms of the money? Are sales up since the last time we got together? Are sales down? Are you, in a place where you're not focusing as much on, specifically getting revenue as you are as, setting the conditions for your success? Tell us about the money. Tell us about what's
Okay,
happening with the money.
I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to show you. I have a when I started with the company called Legacy Builder, and I started with the company Legacy Builder because they have 4 or 5 streams of income that you are able to get. So we sell a digital product for $900, a digital product for 600, 300, and 400. That's 4 streams of income that you can have. So being in that scenario, you can do a payment plan on either one of them. So let's say, for instance, if Christmas is here, you can everybody's tacked out. So you can get into the program with a payment plan on either one of these payment plans, and you can sell these as a digital product. I sell the $900 one because it allows you to have 6, 9, 300, and 400. Now, in the community that I
So did you
joined,
have sales this week?
yes,
Really is really the question.
yeah, we have a community that helps you, teach you, and show you how to do that and how to make money and how to monetize. In the first week, I did a $900 sale. I sold yesterday. I was online. I sold another $900 sale. So I'm selling a $900 sale at least once every 2 weeks, if not, more.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
issue that you have to be able to do it multiple. But I push the $900 program a lot because the 900 program allows you to make the most money, and it also allows you to help more people in that scenario. So I'm selling about one 900, one every I would say once a week so far since I started,
Okay.
and
So I
that's
think
and that's
that's
why I'm
going to be
pushing.
real interesting
Right.
to for us to kind of monitor because this is kind of a new thing, right? And
Yes.
so, we'll
And
be looking at the sustainability of it. We'll be looking at or interested in the growth of it. I mean,
yeah,
we know about Amazon. We know that you can make a certain amount of money, although it's getting, more difficult to
yes.
do so. But we have a sense of that. So I think the viewers and even us members of the panel will be interested in understanding sort of how this is growing. So thanks for bringing that to us.
Yeah, and
I'm
the
sorry,
thing
Horace.
is,
I
and the
got
No,
you
thing
no,
is
going.
that's
that
that's
you
fine.
you have to be in a position where you have to have, and I like I said, that's why I'm making my digital products at a lower cost. The fact that I'm also studying to be a coach as well, which is another avenue, and being a coach, selling the product, and being a coach for Amazon because I still am an Amazon guy. I still have an Amazon in my blood, so therefore I'm going to be making a beginner course for an Amazon course. That's going to be a digital product that I'm selling as well, and that's going to be maybe $20, maybe $15. I'm gonna be selling that as a digital product. So that is going to go on my website because I do have a website. And if you guys look in my bio, there's a free, you can get a free video of how digital marketing works. You can get a free blueprint of how it works. If all you got to do is click on my link, there's a free video in my link to show you what digital marketing is all about. One of the key things is that I tell people this, and I do a live, which I didn't want to, but I started doing lives on TikTok. You can make a digital product on your expertise. And I know everybody has an expertise. So let's say, for instance, if you know how to do clothes or if anything, everybody has an expertise. You can make a digital product on that and sell it $15, $20, $30, depending on what you have. And that's what we want to focus on as well. So
Right. So, Ambrose, I don't mean to cut you off, but I guess what I'm thinking and what I might be thinking if I'm watching is absolutely. So, one of the things you've been doing is you've been kind of educating us on sort of how it works because it's new and it's kind of, um, I don't know.
encumbrance and
If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. And so
yes,
the education is great, and we've been on that for a few weeks. So now I think we're I think where we're at is we're just going to be trying to figure out, okay, how's this going for you as a panel member financially? Obviously, the potential is endless, right? You could make who knows what. same thing you could say for Amazon or Walmart or anything else. So I think, yeah,
So
let's
so
keep monitoring
the
like how
the
you're
big
doing, and
difference
you already
the
told us.
yeah, the big difference for me and Amazon, I do this full time, so I treat it like a full time job. I do
Hmm.
a video post, small video posts in a day, and I monitor that throughout the day. One of the reasons why I moved away from Amazon is because it was, to me, it was more physical, packing, shipping, and the fees that you have to deal with, and the fees that Amazon is charging. So digital products, you get 100% commission every time you sell something, and there's
Right,
no
which is
fees, there's
cool,
no
but from
nothing
where
else.
I sit, I'm gonna say, yeah, that's great, but until I could get to the place with digital
Mhm.
marketing that it replaces what I'm able to get from doing reselling,
Right.
then
And that
I'm
is
not
that is
so
that
sure
is
if I
that
want to
is
do that.
something that that is a good question, because I had one of my friends client ask me the same question, and she said, well, why don't you show me what kind of income that you're making? And I told her like this: first of all, I know a lot of people do that. I don't, because the fact
Hmm.
of the matter is, what I do and how I work is not going to be the way you work. I do this full time, and the energy that I put into it is going to be more fruit, just like with Amazon. The more energy you put in Amazon in anything is the more money you're gonna make. You can't sit there and say, I made $100,000 this year, because I made six figures since I've been in Amazon, and I do this full time. There's people that haven't made six figures in Amazon. I made six figures every year,
Hmm.
6 figures plus in Amazon every year, for the last
Hmm.
4 years. So for me, putting all my energy, and you or anybody putting their energy in digital marketing, is, if you work part time, like you guys work full time, you're not gonna be able to put as much energy in it as because I work. I Just what I do full time. I don't have a job. I don't have a 9 to 5.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
therefore, it's going to be how much energy you can put in it. But the potentials of making money is going to be outweigh Amazon and anything else. But yes, I've been making a sale a week since I started, which was I started in November, Christmas, and the first week I made my first sale within that first week of a nine hundred
Yeah.
dollar sale.
See,
I've
that's
been doing about a
golden
900.
for me. I understand. I mean, everybody understands that it's has a lot to do with the individual effort,
Mhm.
but if you're talking about when you start talking about doing something new, something different, something
Yeah,
that you're not
yeah,
familiar with, you know, uh,
and this is what I tell people
it
all the
would
time.
take time away from, for me, for instance, it would take time away from my Amazon business and my Walmart business, right?
Yes and no.
So a bird
Yes
in
and
the
no.
hand is worth two in the bush.
But and this is
So
and this is why I tell
I'm trying to
people,
figure out what's in the bush.
and this is why I tell people, you this is what I tell people in that scenario. This is what I tell people who work. I tell people who work, you can get into the $100 program, right? And you can get all the bells and whistles. You can get the training. You can
Mhm.
get the support, and you can do a payment plan of $40. And you go in there and
Mm.
do a payment plan for $40, but you can get in there to see, in fact, how you're going to incorporate it into your business, because this business is something that you can do around your Amazon business. This is a business that you can do around your job. But getting involved and saying, okay, fine, I want to get in here just to start and see how I can incorporate it into what I do, either Amazon or a full time job. Then you can make a move to go into a full time and go further when you start to see the income or start to see the
Yeah,
processes in it.
makes sense. Makes sense. Horace,
Let's
you know
take
what?
let's take a
Poet is
moment.
over here. Did
Yeah, let's take a moment to address. He says, "What's up, working class panel?" Horace and Miss Karen, are you guys still using tactical arbitrage for online sourcing? And if so, how are the results? Not finding the margins like years past. Thanks. Now,
Move
to
over to
answer that
digital.
question, yes, I do still use tactical arbitrage. Karen, you never really did uh use it
I did.
all
I
that.
did
You
for
did?
a period of time.
Okay. Uh
Um, but I
I
didn't.
still
But I
use it.
moved to a different kind of model. Um, at the same time, some of the things, Horace, that you found on um, tactical arbitrage have caused me to go down a rabbit hole that has been
Uh-huh.
extremely profitable, much more profitable than the item that you actually found on tactical
Hmm.
arbitrage. So there's a number of ways to use it. You
Right.
can use it obviously to find specific products, but those products can help you find a rabbit hole to go down that
You know,
can really.
it's so important. It's so important that you brought that up because a lot of people want to use software and tools and they think that the software and the tools are going to do the work for you. Nope. Nope. The tools, the software, they help to give you ideas, and it is your responsibility to take that and go down rabbit holes, do further research. If it was just that easy where the software was going to tell you exactly what to buy and you buy it, yeah. No, it's not like that, guys. It is a wonderful tool, tactical arbitrage is, but I'm going to tell you what tactical arbitrage does is it puts the work in front of you. You gonna have to do the work. The question is, how much work do you have to do in order to get to the work? So the software takes a lot of the heavy lifting, and then it puts all that in front of you and says, hey, here's your pile of work all sorted out. Now go to it. Now, if you don't want to work, it doesn't matter what the great software is out here. You're gonna have to put something into it. It's like Ambrose said, if you, no matter what, whether you're working full-time, part-time, you're gonna get out what you put in. But the other part of his question or his mention was he's not finding the margins like years past. Well, that's gonna happen. None of us are getting the margins like we did in years past. It's much more competitive. I will say this though. This is just for me. I've seen a lot of my competition move over to Walmart, and I do believe that is why I'm back up.
They're opening up a
So,
lane for you.
yeah. Now, let me give you an example. I'm going to share my screen here in case somebody ends up watching this. This is what the software looks like. And Foab, I think that's Eric, if I remember. But if you've been keeping up with the software since it was bought by Three Colts, there's been some changes. I like the software much better than what it used to be. But here's an example, and I'm just going to go through this for the benefit of anyone who may be new to the software. So what you're looking at here is a store. So in the source column is the store Farm and Fleet, which is a reliable store. And I can't get into all of this. We've got all types of, free training modules right here on the channel. As a matter of fact, if you really want to learn how to use this software, we have what we call the Lightning course. It's a whole playlist where you can click on and it'll teach you all this. But just real quick, you've got the source, you've got the sales rank of around 2,000. You've got the columns I like to focus on is the price and then the buy box. Now, you learn how to use this stuff the way you're going to use it. But this image is a static link. This image is a static link. You can arrange these columns the way you want. I like to have them right next to each other so that right away I can see if we even have a match. But when you click those static links, then you can see the product on Amazon, and you can also see the product on the sourcing website. That way you can verify the things that are going to let you know you got the right product. Is it the right flavor? Is it the right size? Is it the price? Things are dynamic. Things are constantly changing. But if you could get this for $2, and let's just say, now the way I look at it is, number one, it's a suppressed buy box. I love that. That means it's selling for higher in most cases. What I would do at this point is open it up and say, for example, this guy is selling, and here you can see it is for one pack. So you got to be careful. You'll learn if you're new to this. You got to be careful about multi-packs and things of that nature. But if he can get If he's getting $13.18 and you're paying $2, I already know you can make some money on this. This is my type of product. But yeah, the margins just aren't there the way they used to be. And that comes from different factors. You know, we come from a time where things weren't gated as much, so you could get bigger margins because you know you had brands that just sell for higher. It's just a lot of things that have affected the kind of margins
Can
that you
we
can get. But if this is what you want to do, I still do it. I still love it.
can
And you
uh,
got my number. Give me a call or a text. Let's talk it over. Go ahead, Ambrose.
can we answer his question, and and answer his question about why the margins are getting smaller, and another thing that you said about the double packs, of how Amazon have restricted double packs, and how Amazon has added placement fees for 2025 and beyond, because I think a lot of times that people don't take that into consideration, where Amazon is putting restrictions on how much money you can make, so your margins are going to shrink. And 4 years ago, when I started, it was, you can make more money because there was less fees, less process fee, less storage fees. So your margins was a little bigger. Now your margins are getting smaller and smaller because of those reasons, and they're going to keep getting smaller. When in fact you can't double pack, you can't triple pack, and they got placement fees and things of that nature as well, and that's why margins are shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, okay, here's what I would say. I would say you just showed us some suet that has a number of varieties, and I mentioned a little bit earlier that you found something in tactical arbitrage. Uh, there was a reasonable margin on that particular item, if I recall, but it
Yeah.
caused me to go down the rabbit hole. So in this case, going down the rabbit hole would mean that I would check the brand. I would search through the different varieties because the margins might be slim on that particular one, or maybe not at all. But I usually am not going to go down the rabbit hole if I don't have a base product that's going to give a reasonable margin. But check the other ones, and that's the work. Check the other varieties because you never know. The margins can be greater. And there are places where, I mean, we like to talk about the negative aspects of Amazon, and they're real and they're true. I can't minimize that at all for one second.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm going to tell you that I am selling right now, I am selling a wax melts, little 6 little cubes of wax, right? That I bought for $1.29. And so help me, it's selling for $20 on Amazon right now. Right now, I could show you the ASIN, I could show you the listing. It sells for $20 and it sells. It really does sell for $20. I can show you
Wow.
a shampoo, Neutrogena. I think it's clarifying shampoo. 6 ounces is selling for I'm not sure if it's $199 or $299 right now. The I sold out of it a long time ago. I had a lot of it, and the highest I sold it for was probably $56, and I paid $3 per
How long?
bottle. I sold, I
How
think,
long ago was that, Karen? Because I
how
got
long ago
regated.
was that?
Yeah, because I got regated in Neutrogena, and I thought everybody got regated in Neutrogena,
I
Revlon,
am
and
not
all those.
regated in
So,
Neutrogena.
but
I am
the
selling
but
Neutrogena
the
like
thing
Go
is
ahead
that
and show it, Karen. Go ahead and show it. Truth on the podcast.
I was selling a
oh,
lot of
show the shampoo. I
I
don't
was
have
selling a
any of
lot
it
of
now, but I can show you the listing.
I was
Go ahead.
selling a Starbucks
I'll give you
coffee
the ASIN.
before I
Let me.
got regated.
I gotta
Yeah,
find
give
it.
me the put if you want to drop it in the chat, and then
Yeah,
I
let
can
me
show it.
put it in the chat. It is insane. If I had had any idea it was going to go up that high, oh my gosh. but I'll let me find it because I wasn't
While
expecting to.
while while she's looking for that, we never did talk to Frank about how sales were last week across your different platforms. How was things looking for you, bro?
Sales have been pretty consistent, I would say. I'll say eBay still been the main seller right now. I gotta order some more stuff to relist on Walmart, but the sales been consistent on Walmart. Um, yeah, everything really. I gotta order more stuff to sell. I would say that.
Can I ask you a personal question? What are your thoughts? Because you're like me, so we're kind of kindred, and we both work full-time jobs.
Hmm.
Um, do you have the goal of leaving the regular work world, or are you more like me? You gonna keep that job and just do whatever else you do?
Um, when it makes sense, I will.
Say more.
Like financially, when it makes sense to leave, I will. But it's not like a rush for real. Because for me personally, my job is a resource for my business, so it is not really that. It doesn't really get in the way too much. I mean, I do most of my packing and shipping at work. I use work for work. Got USPS pickup. We got a UPS pickup. So I practically never use FedEx just off convenience because I can literally pick it all up from my job. I pack it at my job. The job pay for the packing materials. So
Okay. So that's
and then,
important. That's important, hustlers.
yeah,
If you can incorporate what you're already doing and get into something else that will lend to that, then instead of working opposing things, you can kind of work synergistically. And
yeah,
one thing that you're already doing can lend to something that you bring on, so that it's not a burden. That's pretty cool. But you know, I think it's just up to you how you want to do it. I have found that I'm like Ambrose. I've been doing six figures on Amazon since 2008 while I have a full-time job. So, you can do both. It just depends on, what you want to do. So,
I have a
you
question
know,
for you.
go ahead, bro.
The two of you guys that are working still, if Amazon could replace your income, would you guys still work?
I would
Okay.
actually Amazon, but Amazon did replace my income. My best year
yeah,
as an entrepreneur while working was 723,000, but this was back in 2012. So if you would adjust for inflation, that could be approaching a mil. And at that point, now I was still in my early 40s. I was about 41 years old. So that was a while ago. At that point, I felt like, okay, I'm leaving. And it got to the point where I was taking leave of absence from work. So I didn't even have enough hours contributed to earn vacation or medical benefits, and I didn't care because I was just making money and I could just buy it. I was clearing 15 grand, a month back then. So I was like, I didn't even care. And then something happened to me. It's called life. The things that you don't see coming, that that light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't realize it's a freight train coming for you. I got ran over by it. It's called life. Some things went wrong, and luckily, I still had the job. But today, I would not. And I think for me, it's just because of my personal experience. Because your experiences shape the decisions that you make, and so yeah, I don't know. Frank, sounds like you would leave. What do you think?
I mean, but actually, I mean, I make more money with my online stuff than I do with my job. So it's not just about the money aspect. It's about like the consistency aspect. you know, that's one thing. Job money consistent, you know. So I'm
But
that's
if you
more.
but if you look at the situation, and I know that the reason why we do sell Amazon is because we want to do, and I focus a lot on this. 90% of people are disgruntled with their job. 90% of people don't like their job. They don't like the people they work with. So
Yeah, I don't have that issue.
yeah, I said 90%. There's so
Yeah, I'm
right.
in the
So
10% of
you
that.
yeah, you in the 10%. So you in a position where it benefits you because you, like you said, you benefits you because you sell stuff from your job and blah blah blah. That's a benefit. But if you look at most people are going to get into Amazon and selling Amazon because they want to be independent. They want to be able to have more and more sources of income and not be stressed out. There's a lot of people who can't be very successful at a full-time job. I'm not saying it can't. It does happen. A lot of people can't be six-figure, sellers working a job because it's just taxing in some form or fashion, or you have to have a warehouse, you have to have people working for you, so you have to depend on other people to keep your job going. But when you look at a situation, I would think that most people got into being an entrepreneur is because they don't want to be a 9 to 5er.
That's
So
not always the case, but
no,
you're
I said
right.
90%, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you look at a
Yeah,
situation where people want to be in a position, want to do something that's going to allow them to be more free and have more freedom with their lives and more freedom. They can do what they want to do. I know Karen mentioned that a minute ago. But if you looking at Amazon, and Amazon is getting more and more taxing, and the fees are getting more and more. I mean, you hear this a lot, and I know the guy who just mentioned it is the fact is that the margins of selling on Amazon's, and the reason why a lot of people got to keep working because the margins are going away.
yeah.
So
I think they closing up like a lot of the reseller margins.
exactly. So a lot of the resellers who are, and I talk to a lot of, and I do some lives on TikTok when I talk about the fact that you still see people on, you know, throwing a dream that you can make a lot of money on Amazon with $500 starting out, and a lot of people on there, just telling that type of story. And I think we tell a
You're
real
gonna be
story
able to
about
be
what's
a
going on
hundred.
with
You're gonna be
Amazon.
100 flips before you even
Exactly,
take a
but they don't
dollar
say
back
that.
out.
They
It is
don't
a
say that.
start, but
Right.
you have
Well,
I
to
ain't
it's
keep
took
just
a dollar out
reinvesting
yet. I
and
just put it all back
reinvesting and
in.
it's a
reinvesting
start,
for a
but
long
like I
time.
said, but if you're going to go through all that trouble for a small margin, you might as well not do it at all because you need to be in a
Well, that's
position where.
not true.
Who says that though, Ambrose?
No. What I'm
People
saying is
people
that
gotta
if you no, what I'm saying is that if you're telling people that they're gonna be like I said, these gurus that telling people make thousands
Oh,
of dollars, all it starts at
yeah,
a
we
thousand
don't tell
dollars.
people that.
That's not. No,
Yeah,
I said that's not what we do. But if you look on the internet, they're saying start a business $1,000, you can make $10,000 the next month, which is so false. That is not the way that's
yeah,
what happens, and this is why we're here telling people that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be in a situation, but
yeah.
you got to ask yourself
I think that
what you get in here for.
the the business model of Amazon is like shifting towards it take money to make money versus you can just start off with a little bit of nothing.
Exactly.
I think that's the business model that is kind of shifting towards. Like
Yes.
if you not really gonna be willing to put some thousands into it with like
Exactly.
wholesale prices,
Yeah.
then you probably not gonna really make no money. The whole going to the grocery store and flipping your way up model is pretty
It's
much
it's,
dead.
it's dead. And
Especially if you
Amazon
starting.
and Amazon made sure that it
Yeah,
was dead because you know what? And I see people online and like I said, and I do my lives, I talk about people go to Ross, go to TJ Maxx, and those are temporary avenues. And when you get audited, you're not going to be able to prove where you get your authentic product from because TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshall, those are liquidating stores. They got a name on it, but they buy liquidation. That's how you get the good products from that. And even online, you have online where companies are saying, okay, we don't like resellers, so you can't buy
right.
anymore in most cases because they label
Yeah.
Kohl's, Target, they label you as a reseller, then they're not going to let you. They're going to be canceling your orders left and right. So the
you know
barrier
you might have a point. You
it
might
is
have a
the
point
barriers of
because
Amazon. The barriers of Amazon are getting worse and worse every year. Like I said, 4 years,
yeah.
it goes down and down and down. So margins are going down and down and down, but the work is still there.
Well, the reason I say you might be right is because I started out wholesale. Then I got kicked off the platform. And by the time I came back, what I used to sell, which is, bodybuilding performance supplements, that whole industry has saturated Amazon.
Yeah.
Where back in 2008, Amazon contacted me because they had saw what I was doing on my own website. Back then, your own website was what was really kicking. Now, when I came back, the margins just weren't there. So I had to get into arbitrage. But then I let arbitrage eventually lead me right back into wholesale, only in the snack food business. So I'm thinking, you know what, you got a point, because although my business seems to be stable at the moment, I'm not doing as much arbitrage. I mostly do wholesale, and because I'm in food, I don't have to really worry about a lot of the issues that other people get into. And let that be a lesson to anybody watching. Wholesale could still be a way to do it. Now, margins, yeah, that's going to be slim. But when you get, if you don't like, I can tell you right now, if you want to be in retail, anybody that's interested, listen. If you want to be in retail and you got a problem with margins, get out of retail. Okay. There's a lot of these big companies. You can go to these channels and they're talking about buying stocks and all this other stuff. You're talking about big companies. Margins are slim. You want big margins? You don't want to be in business. You want to be flipping. You want to be out there hustling, and that way each transaction is a one-off and you don't have to worry about, any long-term, because I don't care what you do, guys. Long-term, you don't get out of life just because you get into business. Life is always going to be ebb and flow. And if you want to be in business, whatever's working today, trust me, there's going to be a change. Whatever's not working today will eventually come back around. But if you're not in this for the long haul, and if you get on these platforms with your business, most of the time margins ain't going to be all that great unless you're playing a long game where you can wait it out, So I just wanted to put that out there. I think a lot of people are disillusioned, but I think they come in with the wrong expectations. No, you're not going to come out here making all this money if you don't have a lot of money to invest. But if you come with what you have, you can get started. I got videos where I show, okay, how much did I spend on inventory? To get to my level, you might spend $10,000 a month, and that ain't nothing. That is nothing in business. But to do the kind of numbers that I do, if it don't make sense to you, that's cool. But
all kind of models, though. I mean, there's people who do eBay. And I know Nate and Elizabeth, you guys pick up things for little or nothing, and you make incredible margins. Not on Amazon. eBay is more the platform for that, or some of the other platforms. But if you don't like going to the resale shops and so forth, then maybe that's not for you. So, there's
that's a good point. That's a good point. Stay with that for a second, because Eric was asking about the software and he's not seeing the margins that he used to see using the software, but the margins are definitely there if you're willing to go out and do retail arbitrage. That's where you're going to find better margins for sure. But there's just so many ways to make money. I like it because the stuff that I'm into, the truck backs up to my house and sets it on the ground. You know what I mean? I do my prep work. I go to bed. By the time I get up, the guy who I have that does the packing and all that, it's already done. So then I go to work and I go get that bag. All I'm looking at is, hey, that's another bag. You know what I'm saying?
And there's nothing
I do
wrong with that. But
now. My stuff is delivered to my house. It's already in a nice little box, and I take it out the box and make sure there's no identifying information. And there we go.
There's nothing wrong with that, Horace. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
Oh, no, just real quick, because I know we got to close up real pretty soon. But on the topic of tactical arbitrage, and Nate, you're usually the one who give us all the hot news on things. But apparently, Three Coats, who has purchased, they have Inventory Lab, they have tactical arbitrage, they have a number of other products. Beginning in February, they're making a big change. That is, all of their products, or a good number of them, about, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them, are going to be provided to subscribers for less than what we pay for Inventory Lab, for those of us who have Inventory Lab. So for $69 a month, you're going to be able to have tactical arbitrage, Inventory Lab, and a bunch of other stuff. And so, that I'm sure they're counting on that making it much more attractive. So
I think
just
we
be on the
cut
lookout for that.
Frank. Did we cut you off? There was something you wanted to share.
I've heard that TikTok is going to be banned in the United States starting January 19th. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but
I don't think
that's
that's
what
gonna
I heard.
happen.
Okay.
I mean,
We'll
it's like
we'll
I hear
deal with it.
mixed. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see after
It's
the,
like anything else. We'll deal with it when and if.
Yeah. What was it like
There'll always be something.
But
wasn't it like in the year 2000 we thought everything was gonna cut off? Remember that?
but you can
Oh,
repurpose.
you talking Y2K?
Yeah, Y2K. We thought everything was gonna. So we'll see.
But
Hey.
you can repurpose all your information from TikTok to other ones, Facebook and YouTube, and you can repurpose
Absolutely.
the information.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, I
whatever
got
rules I
something.
make, I'll put them on all 3 platforms anyway.
Well, there's 2 more that just open up. Flip just open up, and Owen just open up. The one that Oprah. So Flip and Owen just open up and do the same thing.
But in regards to what Ambrose was talking about, in terms of it's getting more and more difficult, why don't we address something that I found out here? I'm going to read this, and then we're going to kind of go around the panel. This is something in the forums. these are kind of interesting. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we do this once when we come live? Let's take a moment each time and let's address some of the sellers out here and some of the gripes that they may have. The title of this one is Amazon Sending Out Thousands in Refunds. I'm going to read this. It goes, I was selling a product on Amazon that perfectly followed its terms of service, verified by Amazon support. Today, they determined that my product is no longer abiding by terms of service and is a safety hazard. And then they deactivated my listing. Totally fine, since I have been selling that product for over 9 months. However, they are now refunding all of my sales to customers, and I am responsible for thousands in refunds now. I don't get it. If my product was following Amazon terms of service at the time of sale and 9 months later they determined that it doesn't, fine, delete the listing. But now they're giving out voluntary refunds. Is this legal? So what would you say to that, Nate?
You should have grabbed your money. Don't let your money sit. Grab it, because once they get their hands on it or they get access to it, you won't see it. Grab your money.
I hate it.
They're playing field.
Yeah, so
I just think I read those stories all the time too. And
yeah,
for me, and one thing about Horace, what you said a minute ago about your system is tight because you've been doing it for a while. Your system is on point. The way you do your Amazon business is you should write a book about it. But most people don't run their business that way. So therefore, the barriers that you have, the stories that you read, the margins that this guy who just made his margins being smaller. My question, and that's why I do digital products, because they don't have all these fees and you can make 100% commission. Why take a chance and be in a business that is doing this type of things. And you read these stories on and on and on. And yes, it probably hasn't happened to me, it hasn't happened to you, but you're in a risky business where, just like what Frank just said, you on TikTok. TikTok is, who knows what's going to happen in another week or two. But you have to ask yourself why anybody and why people are putting their eggs in a basket that is got holes in it. Because you could be shut down anytime and be responsible for those refunds. And I know you guys say it didn't happen to me, and it hasn't happened to me. But my thing is that why risk the issue? And like you said, most people who talk about getting on Amazon and selling on Amazon 2025, they don't tell people the risk, the risk reward that it goes with Amazon. They just talk about, oh my goodness, $500 and you could be making $10,000 a month. So that is one reason why I moved over to the digital world, because it's just too risky at this point in time to be selling on Amazon.
I'll tell you another thing they don't mention. Even if you do make $10,000 a month, nobody tells you this thing that Amazon has. It's called reserves.
Exactly.
You need that money back.
They
to
control
put back
your money
into the business. Yeah.
And if they put you on shutdown or review, they're not going to give you money for 3 months. I know 6 months. They reduce it to 3 months. So you got 3 months of your money that you're looking at that you can't touch. I sell a digital product today, 24 hours, I get my money.
What about Walmart? What about the other? I mean, none of the platforms are perfect, but
we're not even talking about perfect. We're talking about sensible.
True. I agree.
I mean, when you agree. First refunding their money that they've been selling for 6 months, that's not even sensible.
I mean,
that
is horrible. That is that.
Well, if you look at the forums, you hear that all the time.
But wait a minute, because Karen brings up something important. Ambrose, we can remember when you first started to kind of shift your focus away from Amazon. It was certainly towards Walmart.
Oh, I still do Walmart. I'm in Walmart.
And when you talk about things that are sensible versus non-sensible, things that can be difficult, challenging, and just flat out, hard to deal with, Walmart is no exception.
And this is why I sell digital products, because I'm expanding this hand to be in a position where I'm doing influence work, I'm doing TikTok work. So I'm not leaving Walmart, I'm not leaving Amazon. Those are still my, I'm still in Amazon, I'm still an Amazon seller. I'm still going to sell on Amazon, I'm still going to sell on Walmart. And just like with Nate, I'm going to
downside of digital. It has no downside. What's the downside of the whole digital thing?
The digital world, and if you look at Forbes, don't look at me, they said that the digital world is going to be a $1.3 trillion business by 2030.
That's not.
But everybody has a downside.
The downside of being in the digital world is that it's going to be just like Amazon. It's going to get inundated with more and more people. I mean, that's just the way it's going to happen. It might be this year, next year, the following year, but the fact of the matter is, we look at a business that is going up compared to a business as Amazon is going down. And when I'm not saying Amazon is going down, but they're focusing more of their energy on other things and not on us as sellers. They don't care about us. You can see there's $1 million people that making millions and millions of dollars are getting shut down.
Before we go, Karen, where am I looking? Is it a Neutrogena?
You're looking at that Neutrogena right there.
But this shampoo right here?
Yes. Now click on it if you can. Now click on that 2-pack.
Am I reading this right? $300.
You are reading that correctly.
And how much am I going to pay for two of these things?
Well, I paid for 2. I maybe paid. Let's just say I paid $8.
What?
Oh,
for 2, hold on. Maybe $4 a piece.
Oh, wow!
When I had
them. Yeah, now Neutrogena is off limits to me.
Well, it's not off limits to me.
I used to sell
I don't have it anymore.
I used to sell so much Neutrogena. I used to sell a lot of it when I first started. That was my Walgreens plug.
Can you put it on Walmart?
So if
I've
you're
sold out of them.
watching,
I
here's the
sold out.
takeaway. If you ever see this anywhere in a corner store, because it's been discontinued, that's the reason why
That's the
it's
thing.
going
Okay,
for
got
that
you, got
price
you.
at this point.
yeah.
So, but be on the lookout for it because you might stumble across it in a odd place. You never know. And the margins on that, yeah, it's worth the effort of just keeping your eyes open for it.
All
Great
right,
vote.
hustlers, we are going to have to wrap up. It has been a pleasure being out here for you. Remember, we're doing this on a trial basis. We don't know if we're going to continue to do it, but we're going to figure that out through you. You've got to let us know whether or not you get something out of this. And you do that by continuing to come back. We got to grow this. That means you got to give us a like. You got to subscribe. You've got to tell others. You've got to come out here and participate. We need more. But once again, it was a plum-pleasing pleasure. And we will be out here tomorrow. Maybe we can talk more about some of the other platforms that we sell on, like Walmart, like eBay. But we're going to let you guys be the determining factor. You've got to participate. Now, to the working class hustler panel, wave goodbye to the hustlers out there. We will see you next week.
Hey, guys, if you want to go live with me on TikTok, just let me know and we can talk. We can do the same thing on TikTok and go back and forth with the Amazon and the digital product aspect of
We
it.
love it. We love it. This is who we are. This is what we do. We love you. We are out of here. Panel, do not go away. We're going to have our after actions review.